Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers, the HR lady. Welcome back to HR Empowerment. We are here talking about how to prepare to fill a job opening with or without a recruiter. How you doing up there, JC?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Wendy. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, of course. Hey, we have a really cool guest here today who is an expert in the recruiting world, Donna Beckett. Welcome, Donna. How you doing?
Hi, Wendy. Hi, JC. Thanks so much for having me today.
Hey, how'd you become the recruiting expert? Tell our listeners about yourself.
Well, my background in recruiting started in 2000, and it spanned about 2 decades, starting in temp to hire, and then full-time recruiting in several different types of industries and all levels, top to bottom.
I love it. Kind of like what do you need? And we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
It's interesting though. And since Donna is actually a recruiter for the HR lady, I can 100% verify that she is amazing. But there are some recruiters that, they can't traverse across industries or roles. They only do executive. They only do entry level. So my biggest piece of advice for those folks that are going to be looking for an external recruiter is just make sure you get one that fits what you need, because nobody is exactly the same. I think that's true with any career. So I want to kind of switch gears here and start really, really focusing on planning. Why is planning before you put the job ad out there? Why is that important?
You have to know what your organization's, where it needs the most support. Your hiring managers, some of them are struggling. So you can look at where can I cross-train individuals to uncover, the actual skill set that you need to bring on board. Nobody wants to work more than 40 hours. That's how you're going to burn people out.
Right.
And then they're going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so if you're saying, oh, we're not going to get a recruiter, even on this aspect, we're not going to get a recruiter. We're just going to do it ourselves. And I'll just make all my managers put in 5 more hours to fill this position. I guarantee you it's going to be way more than 5 hours each.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
You mean just interviewing 5 people? A phone interview each is going to take 5 hours to prepare the interview questions, to type up the notes or get the notes, and all of that. It is so time consuming, which is why I'm so grateful that I don't do it anymore and that you love doing it.
I do love it.
Make sure though you do take care of your people, and we're getting back to that thing with the hours, being realistic in the job opening to say, hey, this position used to require 50 hours. If it still requires 50 hours or 45 hours, it better be all over the job ad that says we require 45 hours, 50 hours, but we pay, we pay extra, we pay bonuses, we pay overtime, or we don't really care how many hours you work, especially if you're exempt salaried. We're fine with you taking Fridays off, whatever it is, as long as you got your stuff done. Let's talk about, building a job profile. What the heck is that?
So a job profile, really important to have. You have to know what you're looking for. Look at your team. Get input from them. What are the skill sets? What are the weaknesses of your team? What are the strengths of your team, to hone in on the skill sets that you are really now needing for your organization?
Including the thing called cultural fit. What is that?
That can get tricky.
Thank you.
Because you have to understand the guidelines and legal terms that can be used when you're looking for a cultural fit.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be in alignment with the company culture. But when you use the word cultural fit, which isn't illegal, by the way, but when I'm teaching people, I'm like, let's not use that word, because it's connected to a lot of lawsuits. Correct. That says, okay, we were projecting intentional or unconscious bias, and AKA discrimination, by trying to only pick, white male dudes or something like that. So be careful when you use the term cultural fit. If you have a clearly defined company culture, company values, things like that, make sure that they're part of the process all the way up from planning, so that you can, if you do have a set of company values, brag about it, put it in the job ad, right? Mm-hmm. Or Listen, not everybody has a careers website, but if you don't, why don't you consider creating a careers website off of your regular internet site so that you can say, hey, if you're looking for positions, click here. This is where you'll find our job ads. And I don't know, a little bit about our company, pictures of our happy, smiling people. Please don't make them fake people, okay? They need to be real, actual employees. And side note, if you are going to put pictures of your employees on your website, you should probably get their permission, because if they leave, they're going to say, I don't want to be on there. So transparency to me is incredibly, incredibly important. Defining the job role, though, is a huge, huge part of the preparation process, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
You can't just, use a job description from 14 years ago.
Nope. I would not recommend it.
I don't know, because the technology we used 14 years ago doesn't exist anymore, and the technology we're using today does exist.
Maybe.
JC, I think you had some stats to share with us on job descriptions.
A well-defined job description can improve recruitment effectiveness by up to 70%, attracting more qualified candidates and reducing turnover due to clearer expectations.
70% more attraction. That is amazing, just by clearing up a job description. Now, we're going to talk more about finding the right candidate in a moment here in effective sourcing. For now, thanks for listening to episode 1 of our 5-part series on preparing to fill a job opening, with or without a recruiter. In our next episode, we're going to cover finding the right candidates. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.